All right, please open up your book to page 845. We're going to work through lesson 8 today, page 845. We are going to be looking at displaying measurement data on a line plot. This might look familiar to some of you as we reviewed with forward testing, or maybe you saw it on forward testing or map testing. Today we're going to learn how it actually works. So to do this, we're going to be looking at data that's given to us in a chart and then plot it on a number line. So it says 6 friends shared several foot-long submarine sandwiches. The table shows the amount each friend ate. Make a line plot of the lengths in the table. So a friend ate a third, another friend ate a third, another friend ate a third, another friend ate a half, a friend ate a fourth, and a friend ate a fourth. So first of all, we're going to count the number of times each fraction appears in the table. So the fraction 1/4 appears 2 times. The fraction 1/3 appears 3 times. And the fraction 1/2 appears 1 time. Then you would place the correct number of x's above each fraction on the number line. So here's our number line. We have 0 to 1. 1/2 is right in the middle. 1/4 would be right between 0 and 1/2. And in one of our previous chapters, we learned about where 1/3 would come. And 1/3 is bigger than 1/4, but not quite 1/2. So there's 1/3. Now we take and look at our data. We had 2 people that ate 1/4 of a sandwich. So we take it and we put an x above the fourth and another x above the fourth. 1/3 appears 3 times. So we put 3 x's above. Notice how I'm lining up the first 2, okay, and they're going straight above the fraction. 1/2 appears 1 time, so I just have 1 x. I didn't have any zeros and I didn't have any 1s, so those we leave blank. Turn the page. It says you can find the fair share, or the amount each friend would receive if the sandwiches were divided equally. First, we have to add the measurements together to find the whole. Then divide the whole by the number of measurements. So, to find a fair share, we're going to add the fractions to find, we're going to use example 1, and we're going to add the fractions to find the total amount of sandwiches eaten. So add the fractions together. So we have 1/4 and 1/4, that was 2 x's, so we have 2/4 or 1/2 for that. The 3 x's were above 1/3, so we have 1/3 plus 1/3 plus 1/3 is 3/3. 3/3 is equal to 1 whole. We had 1 x above the 1/2, so that's equal to 1/2. Then we're going to take those totals and add them together. So 1/2 plus 1 whole plus 1/2, well, 1/2 and 1/2 is 1, so 1 whole plus 1 whole is 2 wholes. Then it says to find the fair share, we divide the total number of x's on the line plot, or the total amount by the x's. Well, we had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 x's. So we take 2 divided by 6, or we say 2 divided by 6 to find the fair share. So if I take 2 divided by 6, that's 2/6. In this case, though, we want our simplest form of that fraction. So 2/6, I know I can divide them both by a 2, which would be 2 divided by 2 is 1, and 6 divided by 2 is 3. So my fair share would be 1/3. That's if we took both of the big sandwiches and divided them equally. However, the way that the friends ate the sandwich, they didn't eat equal parts. So we plotted the data that they ate first, and then we found what if they would have gotten a fair share, okay? So if they got a fair share, they would have each eaten 1/3 of the sandwich. Now, right here it says, let's make a line plot of these measurements and then find the fair share. Well, here let's put 0, and let's put 1 whole on our line plot, okay? It looks like we have fourths and halves, so we'll make our halfway mark, and we'll make our fourth mark. Then we put an x for each one we see. So I see 1, 2, 3, 4 that are 1/4. and 1, 2, 3, 4 that are 1/2. Again, I'm going to try and organize my X's so that they match up going up the chart. Okay, now to find fair share, I have to add them all together. So I have 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4. That's 4/4, which is 1 whole part. Okay, then I have a half plus, plus 1/2 plus 1/2 plus 1/2, and that's 1/2 and 1/2. That would be 4 halves, or that's 2 whole, because I can put that together to make one, and that, and then add them together, and I'll get that. Okay, then I add these parts together, and I have a total 3 pieces. Now to find fair share, I have to take 3, and I divide it by the number of x's. I have 8 x's. So 3 divided by 8, or that's 3/8. So the fair share is 3/8. All right, let's look at the next page. We'll try a couple more examples. Make a line plot of the measurements again, then find the fair share. Well, here now they gave us some different measurements. So again, we're going to put a 0 and a 1. I see halves, I see fourths, 3/4. Oh boy. Okay, I'm going to need a half. I'm going to need a fourth. I'm going to need a 3/4. Remember, halfway is 2/4, right? Okay. And then it looks like I also need a third on here. A third is a little bit bigger than a fourth. Okay. So let's look. Okay, fourths. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's make my x's. Halves, 1/2, 2 halves, 3 halves. Thirds, 1, 2, 3, and 3/4. Okay, now to find the fair share, I have to add together all of those parts. So I have 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4 plus 1/4. That's 4/4, which is 1 whole. Okay, I have 1/3 plus 1/3 plus 1/3. That's, 3/3. Well, 3/3 is still 1 whole. Ooh, halves. 1/2 plus 1/2 plus 1/2. That's 1 and 1/2. And 3/4 plus 3/4 is 6/4, which is 1 and 2/4. If I simplify it, oh, and 1 and 2/4 is 1 1/2. So now take your parts and put them all together. Okay, so I have 1 plus 1 plus 1 1/2 plus 1 1/2. 1, 2, 3, 4 wholes, and 1/2 and 1/2. So 4 plus 2 halves, well, this is equal to 1, so I have 5 whole parts. To find the fair share, I take this total, the 5, and I'm going to divide it by the number of x's. So divide it by the number of x's. Equals 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So I'm going to put a 12 in there. So 5 divided by 12 is 5 divided by 12, or 5/12. So the fair share is 5/12. Okay, let's try one more problem. Let's look at number 3. Okay, it says halves, fourths, eighths. Okay, there's my 0, there's my 1. Halfway point, quarter way, an eighth. Remember, 1/4 is like 2/8, so 1/8 would be here halfway through. Okay, now halves, I have 1, 2, 3, 4. Fourths, 1, 2, 3. And eighths, I have 2. Okay, to add them all up, let's see. 1/2 plus 1/2 plus 1/2 plus 1/2. 1/2 plus 1/2 is 1 whole. So I would have 2 wholes plus 1/2 plus 1/2. So 1/2, 1 whole, 1 1/2, 2 wholes if I add them all together. 1/4. We're going to add that together 3 times. And I'm going to get 3/4. And 1/8. 1/8 plus 1/8 is 2/8. 2/8. 2/8, if I divide them both by 2, simplify, is 1/4. So now I can add them together. 3/4 plus 1/4 is 4/4, which is 1 whole. And I'm going to join this one and that, and I'm going to get 3 total. So my whole altogether is 3. And now I take 3 divided by the number of x's. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I take 3 divided by 9, which is 3/9. Oop, but that's not simplified. I know they have a 3 in common. So let's divide 3 divided by 3 is 1. 9 divided by 3 is 3. And my fair share is 1/3. All right, move on with workshop.